I made this yam rings a while back and it was such a hit with everyone. So let me show you how I made it. So start by cutting the yam. I cut it about half an inch thick, so it's not too thick and not too thin. Next, I'm just going to peel the individual slices and then I'm going to use a donut cutter to cut a hole at the center. You can also use a knife to achieve this. The next thing I'm going to do is to thoroughly rinse the yam and then I'll add it to my pot, add some water. I'll season with a generous amount of salt and I'm just going to also add the cut out yam. You can use this now or you can save in the freezer for later. I let this cook for about 7 to 8 minutes. Depending on the type of yam you're using, it may take a longer time or a shorter time to cook. Just make sure the yam is cooked but not soft. I'm going to transfer the yam to a cooling rack and allow to cool completely. If your yam is too soft, you can leave it on the cooling rack for longer so the yam can get a bit harder. The next thing I'm going to do is to prepare the batter. Here I've added some all-purpose flour, salt, garlic powder and pepper. I'll give this a good mix and then set aside. In a separate bowl, I'm going to make some eggs with a little bit of milk. You can also use water to replace the milk. Mix that really well and you can also add a pinch of salt if you like. Set that aside and then to another plate add some breadcrumbs. The yam has cooled down, so I'm going to transfer it to the flour mixture. Make sure all the sides are properly coated. Next, I'm going to put it in the egg mixture and then finally in the breadcrumbs. Make sure the breadcrumbs covers every part of the yam. For a thicker crust, I like to repeat this process one additional time. So I'll return it to the flour, then to the egg, and finally coat it in the breadcrumbs. I'm using panko breadcrumbs for this, but you can use the traditional breadcrumbs, either store-bought or homemade. I'll go ahead and repeat the breading process for the cut out yam. Same thing applies. You can coat once for a lighter crust or double coat for a heavier crust. The next thing to do is to fry the rings. So heat up some oil and fry this on low medium heat for about 8 to 10 minutes. Deep frying is preferred to get a nice and evenly golden brown color, but you can also shallow fry if you like. When it's golden brown, take them out and immediately transfer to a dish lined with a paper towel to get rid of the excess oil. Before frying the next batch, leave the oil on heat for a few minutes so it can get back up to the right temperature. The little cutouts did not take as much time to fry, it just needed about 5 minutes or so. Take it out and set aside. Next, I'm going to show you how to make the pepper sauce I serve this with. The pepper sauce is really simple to make. Go ahead and add all the ingredients to the blender. So I'm using some scotch bonnet peppers, red bell peppers, garlic, onions and a little ginger. Blend this using a food processor or a blender until you get a rough blend. I'm using my Ninja chopper for this. Next, I'll get my skillet and heat up a little oil. I'll let this heat up for a few minutes and then I'm going to add the pepper mix. I'll give this a good mix and I'm just going to let this fry for some minutes. I'm going to season this with some salt and some crushed chicken seasoning cubes. I'm going to let this fry for a few minutes. To make this dish more breakfast friendly, you can add some beaten eggs after the pepper has fried to get egg sauce. Or you can leave it plain like I did. You know the sauce is ready when the oil starts to float. Remove from heat, serve with the yam. You can serve this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. No doubt everyone would love this. It's super crunchy on the outside and the yam is so soft on the inside. As always, let me know if you get to try this. If you have any questions about this recipe, feel free to leave me a comment or send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram name is Kiki Foodies. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.